It's Thursday night. It's the NFL draft. So you know what that means. It's the boys from We Talking About Sports live for a little bit of a watch along. We don't have a lot of on the agenda tonight. We're just going to watch this and get the information as you all do and chop it up in the comments. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Number one is pretty much set in stone, right? We shouldn't see no surprises for number one tonight, right?
Yeah, draft starts at probably 3 if we're being honest. And before we get into all of that, I want to say what's up to everybody. I think this might be like year 3 or year 4 of us doing a watch along. So even before that, like I just think of the NFL draft. I think of Mel Kiper. I think of Todd McShay. I know we like to make fun of Mel Kiper nowadays and his 20 different mock drafts, but I could listen to him break down film on these rookies on draft day for the rest of my life, as far as I'm concerned. This is one of my favorite days. It's unfortunate that they moved it to the weekday a couple of years ago, but hey, I mean, we get it a little bit sooner, I guess. I still prefer the weekend build, but Thursday night doesn't get any better than this. And like you said, draft starts at 3 to me. Depends what the Patriots do here. Hearing there might be a little bit of a split house. Ownership likes JJ McCarthy, the Michigan ties to Tom Brady. Robert Kraft might just, be having he might be going into his old days, making some crazy moves there. But the GM and his team, they like Drake May. So let's see who wins out.
Ben, the Texans without a pick in the first round, that's a good thing on y'all's end because it's panned out the way that it's shaping up for y'all and the roster that you're putting together. What are you thinking as far as the first 5 picks? What do you think is going to happen? Is it going to be QB crazy like everybody's predicting?
Yeah, well, just real quick to touch on the Texans not having a pick. It was scrutinized a lot last year when Caceres made the splash, jumped up, traded with the Cardinals to get Will Anderson. We see where the pick ended up being. It's a first rounder for the Cardinals, but I believe it's like pick 27, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So, at least things didn't stay bad. We didn't give up another top 10 pick this year, so it doesn't feel as bad, especially after the offseason. But with the first 5 picks, man, I'm kind of on the boat of I expect 4 quarterbacks going in the first 4 picks, to be honest with you. I don't know, exactly how it's going to be between Drake May and McCarthy, but I do think that somebody, the Vikings, the Falcons, the Broncos, somebody does trade up. And we've seen that the Cardinals, I think, who are sitting with the number 4 pick, because I think for sure 3 quarterbacks at least go 3. Then at 4, it's going to depend on what the Cardinals do. We saw that they were willing to trade back last year, had no problem. And that was with pick number 2 or 3. I think number 3 it was
3
last year. So we'll see if maybe they trade back with a team like the Giants, another team out there that possibly might, they're talking about the Giants need to know who their quarterback is for 2025, not 2024. They know that it's Daniel Jones this coming year. But if they're going to, extend him or pay him, do whatever they need to do, I think it's contract year and they don't owe him any money next year. So they got to get their guy as well, you would think, along with wide receiver needs and whatnot. So I agree with Roland. It starts at 3 just because we don't know what quarterback will be taken at 3. A lot of people have been hyping up McCarthy. I think that's a lot of Harbaugh being his coach. And then, there's ties with the Vikings OC, I believe. So it's going to be interesting starting at number 3. The Patriots need a QB, though, man, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots, too, I mean, I think they need more than a QB. Like, I don't think their situation gets solved with just drafting, like, Drake May. Like, I still think they're going to be drafting in the top 10 next year. So they could, maybe go and say, hey, let's get a skill player. Let's go get somebody else. I don't see it. I do think and agree that they should get a QB. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but the Patriots are – they're not in the same situation as the Bears, where the Bears, I think they've done a good job of building a roster. They have 2 picks in the top 10. They're going to get Caleb Williams. I think the Bears, the past couple of years, people have been expecting them to make jumps. Like we talked about in the divisional breakdowns, how in the hell could the Bears have a 6.5 season win total going into the season? Look where they ended up with 3 wins. I think this year they'll actually make a decent jump if Caleb Williams is as good as advertised and maybe get to those 6 or 7 wins. But Patriots, different situation. But let's see what happens with the top 5. With Ben, I disagree a little bit. I don't think we're going to see 4 quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, 4. If I'm the Cardinals, and again, this is just my opinion, It's different than what Ben just said. But if I'm the Cardinals, I draft Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's the best player on the board. He's the wide receiver from Ohio State. He's been the highly touted receiver since he was really a freshman. I mean, everyone's been waiting for him to come out. So I think pairing him with Kyler Murray, running that, Verani beat me to it, but I'd like to see Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison for a year and see where they go with that. And then at number 5, the Chargers. For these quarterbacks to go this high, there's going to have to be trades that happen. And with trading into the top 5, we've seen how much it costs in years prior. I mean, just is JJ McCarthy, is he worth, a first this year, a first next year, and a second maybe of what it might cost to get him? Is Bo Nix worth, trading up and getting him? Because that's the 4th and the 5th quarterback that you're looking for, Ben, to make that, thing come true. I know JJ McCarthy has a lot of hype, but the cost to trade up into the top 5 is too high, in my opinion, for a team like the Vikings to sell. I don't know about sell the farm, but again, like sell the multitude of picks when they could maybe just wait for it. I think these teams are good waiting, because the Giants don't need a quarterback really. They need to see what I think eventually they will need one, but the fact of the matter is they have Daniel Jones. We've talked about it, just on the side, just in our friend group chats and stuff, that the weaponry that they throw out there on a yearly basis is embarrassing. I mean, to have Saquon Barkley probably be your best receiver, or Darren Waller be your best receiver, and him being a tight end, and he was injured this whole year, couldn't stay on the field because of his back. Then you have Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt as your 1 and 2, a lot of it because of injury and because you paid Kenny Golladay and he didn't work out. So, I mean, the Giants, they're a team that needs to go and try and get a receiver. So they're not going to go get somebody. The Chargers, if I'm Jim Harbaugh, we've heard him how much he loves offensive line. I think he's going to draft Joe Alt, or he's going to draft the guy out of Alabama. A lot of times with this pre-draft hype, and we talk about all these quarterbacks going in the top 5. If the needs aren't there for the teams that aren't presently in there, for me, it's a tough sell because it costs so much to get into the top 5 now. That's just how I'm looking at it.
All right, well, that was a lot to unpack here. What we're going to do with the first 5. Ron did have an idea that I want to go with a little bit, and that's just to promote our social media a little bit and talk over what's happened in the past week. I know he's been working hard with the post.
Hell yeah.
And here's the first one that Ron posted, and it's the upset. I know we all came on here and gave Ryan Garcia absolutely zero chance to get this done. And he kind of shocked the world, boys. I mean, I'll let Roland go first because I know he's, a little bit of a Ryan fan, and I want to hear from him. What'd you make of the fight, Roland?
I mean, we talked about it beforehand, Devin Haney even mentioned it. We didn't know exactly how serious Ryan Garcia was going into this fight. We didn't know if he was, really trolling everybody. And it turns out that he was. I mean, at the end of the day, it was like, I guess, a big troll. He was just trying to, kind of get Devin Haney to let his guard down a little bit, maybe not take him as seriously. Definitely got the public and everybody talking and not taking him serious. I know the line, regardless, probably would have been pretty high in favor of Devin Haney. But with everything going on, Ryan went in with a pretty big underdog, and to see him pull it out was pretty ridiculous. It was a crazy fight. The ref was putting on a show too, pulling Ryan away, and some of the calls that were going against him throughout the fight. But yeah, definitely kudos to Ryan, even though he did come up 3 pounds overweight. I think that's kind of leading to where he might be going in the future with his next couple of bouts, maybe at higher weight classes, not willing to cut down to that 140 cut anymore. But yeah, great fight. Justin, you called it because we were kind of saying that we weren't interested in the fight, and you said that you were going to be all eyes on this. So shout out to you for calling it. It ended up being a good event.
Yeah. Man, I thought it was a great event. He did fool us. The undercard was a little bit underwhelming, but I mean, the main event is kind of what sold it. There is a card that is being put together for the summer that is absolutely it's stacked like a UFC card. It's crazy. It's like if UFC 300 was for boxing. That's the card that the minister from Saudi Arabia is putting together. You all got to see it. It's going to be headlined by Terrence Bud Crawford. I mean, exquisite fades that he's putting together. I really like it.
He's going up in weight, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to be going up in weight, and the opponent has a similar skill set. He's got the judo background as well, so just like Terrence was a wrestler, he has that base. Those guys can really box and mix it up.
Does the guy have a name, or is it just a warm body that they pay?
No, he has a name. I just can't pronounce it. I don't want to butcher it as bad as it is. It's like I don't know if it's like an Arab name, so it's like Muslim something, and I can't say the last name at all. It's so hard to say for me.
Just a warm body, because
no, he's legit. Like he's got knockouts. That's not a warm body. Like the line's gonna be pretty close. He's moving up in weight to fight this guy, so it's gonna be nice. It's not
Ron, what do you think about those? I mean, Haney should have lost just off his boxing shoes, bro.
The whole fit was weird, bro. The essential fit, that was weird. Going in with like the suede shorts.
Like Uggs on.
I don't think it was the biggest troll job like everybody said. I just think that Haney wasn't as good as I thought he was, to be completely honest, because you can't get caught 3 times by the same punch.
But how can you say it's not the biggest troll job when he literally trolled 24/7? I mean, he was saying that he went to that forest or whatever, and he saw doing that and all that. He was trolling like crazy.
He won the fight and still kept going about the little kids. Justin.
He was just doing that to save. He was just doing that to sell the fight, bro.
Draft begins in 50 seconds. Yeah, I know Caleb Williams is the foregone conclusion. We can keep on going with these posts, but real quick, I want to ask you guys. I was going to ask you guys regarding to the AJ Brown. Yeah,
AJ Brown agrees on a 3-year extension, $96 million. 84 million guaranteed.
Yeah, I was just going to ask what you guys thought
they got
about
Devontae and Brown locked up.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of money for AJ Brown. Personally, I think he's shown to be pretty inconsistent. Like, I don't think he produces over the course of a season. He has some bursts here and there, but man, that's a stretch.
The 32 million is the highest per year average for any wide receiver.
I thought he was going to get traded. He looked very unhappy at the end of the year. Like,
that's what I wanted to get to.
It's really Super Bowl or bust for them.
Amon-Ra St. Brown started this, bro. This like huge bag.
Oh yeah, right now for this offseason for sure. Yeah. He started the domino effect. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, that's a different beast though. That guy, he's a chain mover. He's explosive. AJ Brown, he's a 50-50 ball guy. He's give me a screen pass. Let me break the tackle. Let me take a slant and break a tackle. Drop a pass, get injured. I'm not making fun of him, but I mean,
bitch about it.
He's been, injury prone.
I won't be drafting him anymore in fantasy football. I'm AJ Brown out. I'll say that right
now. But I mean, look, I see why they'd pay him $32 million, because I mean, for a decent part of the year, he was a number 1 receiver. He had that like 6 or 7 week burst where he was going 150 and a touchdown or 2 every week or something crazy like that. So I definitely see that, but you got to pay attention to what happened in the back half of the year too. I mean, I know that coincides with the rest of the team. It's not all on AJ Brown. But I mean, his performance, in my opinion, clearly dipped, and then he ended up getting hurt at the end of the year.
And they threw the bag at Saquon. Like, they're paying everybody.
Yeah, Devontae, Saquon, AJ Brown all paid. Jalen paid.
Very top-heavy roster. It's going to be very top-heavy.
Top-heavy offensive roster. That defense is going to be lacking a little bit.
Shit, but
I know they picked up a linebacker. Who was the linebacker the Eagles picked up recently?
Let me see. I can't
remember. You all have CJ Stroud on the screen, and today I was thinking like Chase or Young, the quarterback out of Bama went 1 and he went 2. Bro, all we see everywhere is CJ Stroud, and I haven't seen anything that Young is doing. Like,
well, dude,
he went to a small market team as well. That hurts as well. And then he wasn't surrounded by the best situation.
I get it, Ron, but Stroud is everywhere. He's doing like a live drafting today with the network, bro. Like him and Micah.
Hey, but he's a rookie of the year. That's what rookie of the years do. Bryce Young didn't have that year. I don't expect him to be out there. He should be in the lab. He should be working.
That's why the podcast, me and Roland had CJ1 going.
That's facts. That's facts. We were on that, but
no, Ron wasn't. He was all over Bryce Young.
I will say though, look.
Send CJ to Carolina, see what happens.
I still don't.
You might be right. You might.
I don't know if Bryce Young is going to be all that in his career, but I do want to see him at least with a decent set of weapons. I mean, he gets there. I mean, he already has
a first-round pick, Roland.
Yeah, man, it's a rough looking for them. They're gonna have to get that Xavier Leggett, maybe, South Carolina
South
product.
Carolina guy. He's like a Debo kind of guy.
Yeah, Debo, that'd be a good target for him. Adam Thielen was looking decent, but when Adam Thielen is your wide receiver one, I mean, come on.
That's
I mean,
at this,
that's nasty
this is
work.
Adam
That's
Thielen
nasty work.
2023. It's not Adam Thielen 2017. It's not good.
Do y'all make anything of this trade that we have here on the screen? This was Ron's guy right here, because he was like mill funding and shit.
Let's let Ron get into this one for us.
Yeah, but Ron, do you think? I mean, obviously it was a low cost, right? But do you think it's a good move bringing him into a quarterback room that the Broncos are searching high, they're searching low?
Yeah, I honestly don't know what the hell is going on with this trade. To be honest, I mean, I guess on the Jet side, I see it like, fuck it, let's just get whatever we can for him because we know Rodgers is coming back next year. But on the Broncos side, I mean, well, I guess he had to land somewhere, right? And fuck it, you just lost Russ, so you never know.
Yeah, I guess you got to kick the tires with him, see what you got. What's the Broncos quarterback room looking like right now?
Russ gone. To the what do you go to the Steelers? I don't know what your backup was.
So this is their quarterback room right now. They got Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson, shout out former Cowboy Ben DiNucci as the third string quarterback. Former Seattle Dragon quarterback too. Shout out to the AFL or the XFL, wherever he balled out and got himself a second life in the NFL. But that's a team that's definitely looking at quarterback. But look, you got Jarrett Stidham and you got Zach Wilson. I don't know.
They need a QB, bro.
Yes, they need a QB, but do they need to trade all the way up to get one? Like
McCarthy could be Wilson, literally. He could be another Wilson.
But are you gonna start these guys week one? JJ McCarthy's not starting week one on the Broncos with that offense. They don't have Judy anymore, right? Or did they give him money?
They
don't. Yeah, they traded Judy, so Judy's not there anymore.
He's with Cleveland, right?
Yeah, he's with. There you go. Yeah, he's with the Browns.
Dirty.
So yeah, just wait for these guys to drop to you. Like I don't see why you spend so much to get up to the top 5.
It's because now nobody wants to miss, bro. Everybody's like, we're gonna get that next underrated guy that nobody saw coming, like Patrick Mahomes and all this shit. But fuck it.
But I mean, as soon as you draft one of these quarterbacks too, though, you as a GM, you're effectively like starting the clock on the rest of your career with that team. If you draft a first round quarterback, it's like, hey, your next contract with the team is only as good as that quarterback's, in my opinion, most of the time.
Get on that bench.
Look at Joe T's hating ass in the comments. Just because he knows his team is stuck at 3, drafting between 2 busts. You got to come at me, cuz. Come on, man.
Let him know.
No matter what happens tonight, Joe T's not going to be able to sleep, no matter who they pick. Like, there's no.
Hey, what was that slide earlier, Justin? Put that slide up.
It's not up. It's already up.
That was the block. Nah, the block heard around the world.
Oh no, I don't want to get copywritten.
Ron, they're down 0-2. You want to play Lakers highlights?
Yeah, look, I mean, just to give Joe just a little bit of bail here. I mean, and granted, I mean, Ben, you were wearing a Josh Allen jersey this time last year, I think. But anyways, that aside, we've already put that aside. Joe, he's going through it right now. We talked about it. 3 is the worst spot to be in this draft. Caleb Williams is going. Jaden Daniels has been put as a clear-cut number 2 now. And I think we've known that before, but you know how the pre-draft stuff always goes. They try and, maybe put one guy over the other or smoke and mirrors or some stuff with the visits that went down in Washington. But Jaden Daniels is number 2. And then you're the Patriots. You already have a shitty team. Your weapons are like, I mean, you need a receiver. You need a receiver. Clearly, you need weapons. Like you're not getting it done. Devontae Parker, he's led the year 3 years in a row in the worst stat ever as a receiver and total separation. He gets 0 separation as a receiver.
Did they re-sign Zeke or nah?
And they got Zeke. I mean, he was a bright spot for them.
I heard he was talking to the Cowboys yesterday.
Zeke's meeting with the Cowboys, bro.
Oh, yeah. Bring him back,
We're all in, baby. All in. Okay, well.
You can do it, dog. Tráelo para atrás, cuz. these fucking bums that we
No,
have. These
North
but
Carolina
again,
pick
but you're the
was a
Patriots,
solid
though.
choice.
But again, back to the
Jared.
Patriots. If you take McCarthy or May, you're in a rock and a hard place because you're not going to throw either one of them out in week 1. You're going with Jacoby Brissett. And so then your first round pick is a quarterback that you're not going to get to see for 2 or 3 years. So yeah, I mean, it sucks if you're a Patriots fan, definitely. But you had 6 good years or 7 or however many Tom Brady won with you guys, but whatever.
They're going to be cursed now. The way they did Brady, like it's going to be the Brady curse.
And Belichick too. They did Belichick dirty in that documentary.
They're fucked. Like the Cubs, how the drought they
like the
went
Cowboys from now on.
through. Joe T, you won't see another
They got the
championship
chips,
in
and
your
now they're
lifetime,
going to
brother.
decay.
Wishing that on another man's life is pretty harsh.
Hey,
Not to
but
get another
also
championship.
Drake May is a solid third choice. I know that we kind of gave a little preview of what we thought of the top 3, but also like let's look at the history of North Carolina quarterbacks.
Yeah,
know,
I mean that's the other thing working
Carolina.
against them.
It-
The other thing.
That song went hard.
Maserati Mitch, bust, and
Oh, they got Eminem doing the.
Yeah, Eminem's doing the first pick.
didn't they have another QB that just came out a couple
now?
years ago
Ken, who?
out of North Carolina?
Oh, the dude
Sam.
Howell.
Sam Howell?
Sam
Yeah,
Howell.
Sam
Like,
Howell.
come on, bro! You don't want a North Carolina quarterback. You
Yeah,
really-
they're
Drake
pretty
May's
much
not
they're,
Sam Howell though.
they're
There's a difference.
they're half-baked products. They come into the league based off of their, like I said, their prerequisites, like what they have. Like they have a strong arm. They're 6'4". They're the prototype quarterback. They're a little bit athletic, so they come in as a good prospect, and that's what's been getting them drafted. They were in a quarterback-friendly offense in North Carolina. So I don't know. I agree with you though, Ben.
And-
Any chance Caleb Williams just like doesn't go number 1?
no. But didn't he say he wasn't
Are
going
you
to go to
sure?
the Bears earlier this year? I remember him saying that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you
wanted a piece of ownership equity.
He caved quick, man. That holdout was that was the fastest end to a holdout I had seen.
Do you ever think we're going to get to a spot where someone is so good coming up that they discuss equity for the pick? Do
Nah.
you think we ever get
If
there at
Caitlin
all?
Clark didn't get it, nobody's going to get it, bro.
What do you think about Caitlin Clark not taking that Big 3 deal?
I think
I
she
mean,
wants
who-
to compete in her league, and she should. I think the deal was good. I mean, it was a lot of money to play in the U.S. I don't know if it would have afforded her the opportunity to play in Europe because most of these girls got to go play in Europe to make the bag. They don't make it
Sure.
in the U.S. So if it
But who
didn't allow her to
watches-
play in Europe, then it was a bad deal
But-
for her overall.
Nobody watches the Big
Yeah,
3,
and
bro.
she
How are you
got
gonna-
Or
she got
WNBA, right?
she got a good deal with Nike though. I mean, 8 years,
Got a
30
bag.
million about.
Did you see like the list of the deals that the different shoe brands were offering?
No, I didn't see the list.
Mhm.
I just saw what she signed with Nike.
Like with Puma, she didn't even sit down. Like Puma offered her like $2 million for like 4 years or something stupid,
What?
bro.
Jeez.
Damn.
Obviously, everybody had a deal, but yeah, Sam Howell also led in interceptions along with passing yards.
Yeah, he
for
did
a
that. That changed real quick for Sam Howell. It went from 100 to 0 because I think he had a lot of people, thinking that he might be something. Like, I mean, I agree with Jerry. He did show flashes this year, but he was just real. I think Jekyll and Hyde. It was just way too on
He's
one
a
side of the
backup.
spectrum.
He's a
Yeah,
backup.
he's a backup. He's gonna end up being like a Fitzpatrick, like a guy who can come in and have success for 2 games at a time, or maybe even 3. Stretch it out.
Damn.
Bars, that came
what-
out of nowhere.
My boy Jack, bro, he's hilarious.
Fucking awesome, bro.
For you Drake stands, bro.
Oh, OVO.
Yeah, so-
I think he's
Joaquin
watching on
is one of
YouTube.
those Drake bots, bro. Those Drake bots that are out right now.
He's watching on probably on his TV. In fact,
Damn, they barely put the Bears on the clock. They barely
I-
better not take any time.
I do
Yeah,
agree with
for
Jerry.
Chelsea.
She would have gotten exposed in the big 3, and it just wouldn't have been a good look.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it would have been bad. It would have been bad in the big 3 for her.
She
for
can
sure.
do that All-Star game shit where she'll be the next one to challenge Steph, I'm sure, this coming year in a 3-point shootout since that
yeah,
other girl lost.
that'll happen. Guys, what do you think about Cooper DeJean, the Iowa cornerback? I saw probably the funniest tweet like I've ever seen on Twitter about him, and it was a white dude, and he said, "This is our Jackie Robinson." I mean, I freaking was drinking water, and I spit it all out. I couldn't believe I read that. It was the craziest
Why
thing.
he's,
He's actually a good prospect, bro.
yeah.
He really is.
Good
Why do you say
prospect. I
that?
think good athlete. I mean, you don't see that a lot, right? But he's gonna be playing corner. Let's see what he does. I mean, I don't know really too much about it. I'm not too familiar with his game, as some people would say. I know he comes from that vaunted Iowa defense. So you got to come with good fundamentals. They always produce good secondary, good linebackers into the NFL. So yeah, let's see where he lands. I think his draft prop, the last time I saw it, was I think over under 22.5. So mid first round. So let's see where he lands. Yeah, and Jerry, I was going to say, Jerry, I kind of had a similar thought, maybe of him being more like a nickel, or maybe not like a full-time outside corner. But I think he is a good enough athlete to, maybe start out, maybe trying to compete on the outside. But I don't know.
One of those like combine freaks, right? Where his combine shot him up boards. But I mean, let's think about white cornerbacks in the NFL. We can name some white safeties, the Eric Waddles, John Lynch's of the world.
Those are
Jason Sehorn's like your last
Sehorn.
But at DB, bro, he is a safety. In the NFL, he probably is a safety. But at DB, I don't know, man.
They the guy from Philly, Rodrigo
Blankenship. Yeah, good call out. And then
Harrison
Smith, the guy from the Vikings.
Gorilla Box Smith, Justin.
Harrison Smith, future. I think some people throw out future Hall of Famer with him, but I don't know.
The Gorilla Box stream, bro. I mean, fuck.
What?
The draft. Fix it.
Hey, so just to get y'all's final takes before we hear the announcement on the number 1 pick. Let's get to hear it first from We Talking About Sports. What's y'all's take on Caleb Williams? Do you guys agree that he's a clear-cut number 1? I know this might sound like a repeat of what other people are talking about, but I want to hear it from you guys. Do you agree with the hype? Do you think that he's going to have instant success? The Bears have done a decent job of building around him. Might get a top-flight wide receiver in this draft as well to add on to what they have with DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. So let's see what he has to work with. But yeah, I'm gonna throw it to Justin because I know you've been you watch film. You're a big college football guy. I'm sure you watched Caleb Williams since he came in and beat your Texas Longhorns in the Red River rivalry, which they were showing that highlight right now. So what are your thoughts on Caleb Williams, Justin? Let's hear it.
I don't think he's exactly the hype, but he is the clear-cut number 1 out of these quarterbacks. His best season was at USC when he won the Heisman, but he had Jordan Addison, the kid who went to was it the Vikings?
Yeah, Vikings.
Yeah, so he was benefited from one hell of a receiver, and then afterwards, when he didn't have the receivers, the second year at USC, he kind of crumbled. And the year that he beat us in Oklahoma, he was all right, but he didn't have. He had like, what was it, a CD the last year?
Yeah, I think he had CD.
And then that was it. Like, I mean, without the talent that stacked around him, he didn't show me enough to say that this is the next Patrick Mahomes. But he showed me enough to say he's still head and shoulders above the other quarterbacks in
this draft class, for sure. Okay, Ron, do you agree with Justin? Is he clear-cut number 1 in this draft class, or do you maybe prefer Jaden Daniels?
I honestly prefer Jaden Daniels, bro. Fuck it. I'll shock the world. I mean, let's talk about it. LSU, Joe Burrow, greatest college football quarterback maybe ever, debatable, Mount Rushmore, whatever. And Jaden Daniels just comes with a new coaching staff, new all this shit, and just does work, bro. I get it. Caleb Williams is Caleb Williams, but how many times have we seen the second, third, fourth guy get picked be way better than the guy that went first overall? Josh Rosen, Josh Allen. Then you had there you go, perfect example. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. So you just never know. And I think Caleb Williams, he put up great numbers, but performance-wise on the field, I don't. Some of the games that I watched this year, I was like, yeah, he's good, he's solid, but there was some times where I think he wasn't as mobile, as smart as just say a Jaden Daniels is for LSU. For sure. I mean, it's the draft. If you're the Bears fans, do you get mad that they went and got the reigning Heisman Trophy winner? I mean,
you got to be happy with that.
Really, you know what I mean?
And you surrounded him with pieces, so you're not mad.
Yeah, I mean, sure. My answer is I don't think he's. Let's just say I don't think he's possibly the best quarterback in the draft.
Okay.
So who is the best quarterback?
Solely versus Daniels. Solely versus
Yeah,
Daniels.
Ron
you
says
like
he
Daniels
prefers
more.
Jaden Daniels. To break the tie here, I'll go with Caleb Williams over Jaden Daniels. I do agree with Justin. I think he's the clear-cut number one in this draft. Just from what I've seen, I think he has the quickest release. The ball comes out the quickest with him. He's the most decisive in the pocket. He's not as good of an athlete as Jaden Daniels. I don't know what Jaden Daniels' 40 time is, but when he's running on the field, what's up? The athleticness.
Daniels being a better athlete.
Yeah. And Jaden Daniels, I think when he's on the field, to me, he looks like he has the potential to run like a 4.4. Like he has that kind of speed when he's running. Caleb Williams, not as fast, but he throws darts when he's throwing on the run. He can make every throw in the book. When you talk about throwing across the body, even though that's not preferred, but he has everything that you want. He has the escapability. He can run with his legs and actually gain yardage, although I'm pretty sure is going to dip a little bit in the NFL. But I like Caleb Williams. I don't know if he's as good as, some other prospects that we've seen the past couple of years. Yeah. But he's number one in this draft class for me.
Then we got
Jaden Daniels is very, mature as well. He's experienced as a quarterback. The kid started at Arizona State. He threw a touchdown to N'Keal Henry, so he's been around the college for
to Brandon Ayuk.
So Brandon Ayuk too. So you're going to get a quarterback who's mature coming out of the draft. Caleb Williams still has some maturing to do, but with Jaden Daniels, I think you're already getting a refined product. So I like
Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams, Ben. You have to break.
I like Daniels. I don't know if I think that Caleb Williams is a hell of a player and he has a hell of an arm, but I don't know if y'all mentioned it. I think he's soft, bro.
Oh, fuck.
I really do. I think Caleb that he's more of like I think he's more of a diva QB.
Is it the fingernail paint or the crying in mom's arms that make you think?
The crying in the mom's arms. The fingernail paint doesn't bother me at all, but like
I don't know.
A little bit.
The crying is a little.
I kind of get those vibes. Like
pick his in.
Sheltered. I don't like it.
Yeah, for me, I think he like kind of aims to be different, and it's kind of like obvious, a little bit like kind of like to stand out. But he's Caleb Williams. He stands out naturally,
I don't know if that's the guy you want in the locker room, like leading you out. Like, do you trust this guy? If you don't think
that's a good point, Ron, because I
wouldn't
want him to go in my locker room.
Would you want to play for Caleb Williams or you want to go play for Daniels?
I don't think we know too much about Daniels. I know he won MVP. He is older. He's MVP? More mature, but he's also a guy that had to bounce around college before getting his Heisman
every
trophy.
quarterback does that.
Williams did it because he followed his OC, but he was a blue chipper through and throughout. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jaden Daniels, his age, I think he would be maybe the 5th or 6th oldest quarterback drafted in the first round. When he does get drafted number 2 right now to the Commanders, I think he's 23. So he's right around that Joe Burrow range. Joe Burrow came in at 23. Still not quite at that Brandon Weeden, 28 years old range in the first round to the Browns. But he's still there. To Justin's point, he was a late bloomer, if you will, in college. He didn't really hit his stride until he blew up at LSU and came on everybody's radar. But I like what you get with Jaden Daniels. I think with him, you want to teach him when he's running though to kind of get down. He takes some crazy hits.
He does.
I thought this year
in the LSU game.
And the SEC. What's that?
We got another sketch reference. That's cool. No, but like you said, he does take hits. He got hit pretty hard in the LSU game 2 times now.
Yeah.
Did they already pick or no?
They took Caleb Williams, so now we do expect Daniels to go next. Let's talk a little bit of fantasy football, guys. I mean, I know that you all referenced that Daniels was more mobile. These are 2 guys that we both expect to start next year. Are you all feeling more comfortable drafting Daniels as, maybe a late-round flyer QB or Caleb Williams?
Oh, man, I think I'd still stick with Caleb Williams. I think I like the Chicago Bear weaponry more than the Commanders' weaponry going into this year. I mean, the Commanders, they don't have Curtis Samuel anymore. They're already kind of thin. Didn't already have the best running backs. I think they're just going to go there with Scary Terry. I'll try and pull up their depth chart. They got Eckler at the back end of the
Eckler and Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
Dotson isn't terrible.
Dotson is good.
Scary Terry, Logan Thomas,
Jameson Crowder. I still like
to work with.
Yeah, I still go Caleb Williams.
I still like the Chicago's roster more than this.
Yeah, Jameson Crowder.
Dan Quinn. Isn't Dan Quinn their head coach now?
And Zach Ertz. Oh, yeah, Dan Quinn. Yeah, he's a Commander's coach. Nah, Claypool's playing like in
It's
Canada
Ben
or something.
Claypool, but I thought he was at the Dolphins or something.
Chase.
No, I don't know. I don't know if Claypool's
The
in the
Bears
league
got
anymore.
Keenan Allen, Tyler Scott, DJ Moore, and Cole Kmet at tight end, Gerald Everett at tight end. I think I like
That's
their
sick.
roster just a little bit more.
Hey,
Yeah, and they got some good
You
running
mentioned
backs
Tyler
too.
Scott. Like nobody here knows who that guy is.
Don't they still have Darnell Mooney?
And they got my boy Colin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson.
Colin.
Might as
Colin.
well be Calvin Johnson though. Shit.
Oh,
That
DJ
could be-
Moore,
Out.
Keenan Allen. Yeah, I like Keenan Allen with the Bears. That'll be nice.
Yeah,
He'll be,
OG coming into
yeah,
the
he'll be like a little, the Adam
Bro.
Thielen, but better. He's better. Okay, so going.
If they get
Bryce Young-
Oduzier, or
yeah.
what is it? Oduzier?
I like that. Yeah,
Oduzier?
Odunze or something. Yeah.
Odunze to that wide receiver room? Oh my god, bro. Justin, what do you
The
think?
Bears
of
are
that?
doing good work.
Hey, Texas is back. Texas has some first round picks this year.
Texas?
Yeah, I think there's a
Got
lot of
Byron
steam on
Murphy.
Byron Murphy.
Yeah. What's the other defensive tackle?
What's
The
that?
bigger one.
I need to let my
Oh,
dog out.
Trayvon Sweat or
Who let
something like
the
that.
dog
Yeah.
out?
But Byron Murphy actually passed him up because Sweat is the one that everybody was, hyped up about because he's the one with the imposing size, right? He's
Yeah.
he's the
But
big boy.
Sweat hit some legal
Um,
trouble this week. So
Yeah, so
did Ben
Murphy
just
though,
fall down? I mean, what
Ben
happened?
just,
uh,
ben just tripped over all his
Uh,
happy dad.
Murphy, it's people are liking what he can potentially, offer in the interior as a defensive lineman there.
Yeah.
So
I
think
saw that
the-
even Jonathan Brooks Roland had surpassed Tavondre Sweat recently because of this issue.
what was the
Brooks
issue
coming off
exactly?
ACL tear. I think he was a DUI.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, I like Adonai Mitchell
Adonai
too.
Mitchell.
Jerry, he's one of my favorite prospects. And you asked about the Florida State receiver last a couple comments ago. I forgot his name. Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman, man, let me tell you, Justin, I agree with you. He's a unit, and he throughout the season was probably one of my favorite receivers. Like I had him pegged as a surefire first rounder, but I think the water has kind of cooled on him a little bit. Would you say, Justin? He's not so much a first rounder anymore. He had one of the best catches of the year with that one-handed grab that he had over the middle of the field. Just went up and grabbed it. He kind of reminds me of like a Des Bryant maybe type. I don't know.
The guy from FSU.
Keon
Similar
Coleman,
build.
the guy from FSU. Yeah. What do you think, Justin?
Similar build. Coleman 6'3", 215. He's probably going to get a little heavier in the NFL. He'll probably be around 220. Physical guy. He can play the outside really well, but the water did cool off on him. I think, I don't understand why, because he did lead Florida State in receiving. They were almost undefeated until the very end when they had to play Georgia. But, it did cool off a little bit.
Yeah, and then Adonai Mitchell, I know he's been pegged in the back end of the first round. I think before the draft started, I want to say I saw the over on him, so meaning that he's going to go over this number. He was at 28, so people are expecting him to go either 29, 30, or maybe drift into the second round. What do y'all think about Adonai Mitchell? Didn't have too much production at Texas. He was in a stacked wide receiver room with another number one receiver and Xavier Worthy, who's going to go potentially in the first round. And Ewers wasn't always the most consistent, in my opinion, in getting him the ball. What are y'all's thoughts as Justin and Ben specifically on Adonai Mitchell, the Georgia transfer into Texas?
Ben, you want to go first? I can take it. It's up to you.
Go ahead.
So, he's very similar build to Keon, except he's 1 inch shorter. He's 6'2", 205. We saw in the championship game where they were spamming him to the outside because one-on-one with a physical guy like that, I mean, he's got most of the people beat. So I think he's going to be the better receiver out of Texas. I know Worthy, he's the speed demon. He broke the record for the 40 time. But I think when you're looking at a more complete NFL prospect, you got to look at Adonai Mitchell over Xavier Worthy.
I agree with that take. Ben, what's your thought as a Texas fan on the two?
Yeah, I'm more of a Worthy fan. Nowadays, it's just all about speed out there, bro. And the fact that both of these guys are going to be around, when teams like the Chiefs, the Bills, the 49ers are going to be picking, like,
Daniels.
Daniels goes number 2. Okay, so here now the draft starts.
draft
Boys,
starts,
draft
boys.
starts.
Yeah.
Is Joe T still around? Joe T, comment if you're still with us.
Nah, he's probably slugging some beers right now, trying to
Roland, I do want to
calm his
ask you about
nerves.
2 receivers though.
What's up? Who the
So
two?
throughout the season, we saw a lot of production from a guy like Jermaine Burton, the Georgia transfer that went to Alabama. He is a little bit undersized, and he does have that knee injury. And the other one, who's not going to get a lot of hype around him, but I mean, he was just a production king, Ladd McConkey from Georgia. I know he fell off because of his injury as well. He missed 2 or 3 games. But when you talk terms of production, those 2 guys were some of the top receivers. Where do you think a guy like Ladd McConkey, a little undersized, where does he fit?
Man, so he, to me, like, you look at a guy like him, you're not going to expect him to have like the prerequisites like for a receiver to succeed today. Like Ben was talking about with the speed with Xavier Worthy. He comes in at like 6 foot. He's under 200 pounds, but he has some speed. He comes in running a 4.4. He's a good route runner. So when you throw that in there, I think those guys succeed no matter where you put them. They just have to be in a wide receiver room where they'll be able to stick around, maybe play on, I was going to say play on special teams, but I know his draft profile he's been moving up a little bit. He's been a hot name. I know you mentioned his injury
4.3940
and the 4.3940, but he's actually been a guy that's been ascending in terms of his draft profile leading into the draft. So I like him over Burden personally, but yeah, I think he fits in just in an offense where he's going to have an opportunity. Because, I mean, we talk about a lot of these wide receiver rooms. You get buried in the depth chart if you come in as a receiver that's not going to be, coming in, getting routes at the outside. You have to find your way in. So we'll see where he lands. But, yeah, I like McConkey out of the 2.
What about you, Ben? Were you big on Burden or McConkey? McConkey, hell of a production, 4.3940. He's only 6 foot 186. Got the Hunter Renfrow build on him. What do you think?
Dude, I'm not too big on either one of those guys. And honestly, on this draft class, I'm also not too studied. I was about to start talking to Ron about who his favorite receiver was between, Neighbors and Odunze, because I know those are the top. After Harrison obviously goes number 1. I'm more familiar with them. The other guys, I ain't gonna front. Like, I'm not gonna pretend. McConkey, I remember him. You know what I mean? But I don't even know if he ever, gets real playing time. But Neighbors and Odunze, that's where I want to know, like, who's the second best wide receiver to you all? I prefer Neighbors. I know Odunze I think he's favored to go before Neighbors, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think it's Neighbors. Neighbors is the favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Odunze's the bigger guy, no?
Yeah, 6'3" for Odunze. Just
you always want that
Jerry's
big
comment.
receiver,
McConkey did see the field when Burden was there, and he had more yards than him at Georgia. So McConkey's very much slept on as far as he doesn't have the hype on him. But
Cowboys or what,
good.
Justin?
What do you? Oh, the picks in for the Pats. What if they just shock
Ooh,
the
let's
world
see what
and
the
go-
Pats do.
and go Harrison?
They went that fast. They got
Wow.
Drake May.
Yeah, they probably did get Drake May. The pick is already in. There was talk
JJ
that Robert
McCarthy.
Kraft
What
wanted
the
McCarthy.
fuck?
Shut up, Ron. Are you serious?
Damn.
Nah, Ron's
you
trolling.
lying, Ron.
Ron's
For
trolling.
real, that
That
connection
fool couldn't
to
even watch the fucking draft. His Gorilla Box wasn't working.
I have it here on the TV.
Oh, is that what
Michigan,
you were saying? Your Gorilla Box wasn't working?
just like
Yeah.
Brady. Fuck, another Michigan quarterback. Wow.
Nah, Ron's trolling me right now.
Yeah, they're still interviewing Daniels. Like, come on, cuz.
I gotta say, Daniel's jewelry piece looking pretty nice. I like those things.
I don't like
Yeah,
the color
for
of the
me, like between the
Screw the
two,
colors off.
Ben, to answer your question, I'll probably lean Neighbors too. I think he's a more explosive guy. I think he was slightly more productive this past year with that, that explosive LSU offense. Jaden Daniels won the Heisman. He was the guy catching those touchdowns. Him and what is it, Brian Thomas, Justin?
Yeah, Brian Thomas and
Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas is another stud receiver, but the
he's their big
production
guy,
was there.
6'3", 209 over there.
But yeah, I go Neighbors, but Odunze, I mean, if he's going to go in the top 10, and whoever gets him is going to get a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, day 1. So either one's going to be productive, in my opinion.
Well, I guess you could say Neighbors is more Jamar Chase, and Thomas Jr. was more what's the other cat? T. Higgins.
Yeah, I like that.
Hey, just some playoff updates. The Magic are beating the shit out of Cleveland, 81 to 56.
I just put up the score earlier.
That might be
Crazy.
one that goes 2-2, where we see home court really hold steady for both teams. Because I mean, when you talk about it, the Cavs, yeah, they were the favorites. They're like over -200 when we talked about it, and they won both games clearly. We talked about the Magic's inexperience, but the Cavs aren't, stone cold killers in the playoffs either. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of unproven in terms of, consistently closing out series. You know what
The
I mean?
Magic have looked horrible on the road.
That's an
Like,
awesome comment.
you can't trust them on the road.
Fresh
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
off
think
the
home court is
comment.
gonna hold court for sure.
brother.
All right, let's see. The pick is in. Give me at least 5 seconds if you guys are ahead of me, or 10.
Whoever sees it, just say it
Oh,
first.
all right, I got
Nah,
it.
relax.
I already got it.
It's
Hey,
Drake
Roland,
May.
Raise your hand if you got it.
I don't got it. I
Raise
got
your
it
hand
now.
if you got it.
Hand up,
It's
got it.
Drake May.
Okay, yeah, it is.
Okay.
Drake
So
May.
that's
Three
Drake May.
quarterbacks in a row.
I'm gonna let
All
my
right.
dog back
Now
in.
this
And we
is
see
now-
4.
Now this is where Ben's prediction comes in.
Marvin
Ben-
Harrison comes in.
Ben said that he predicted 4 quarterbacks going in a row, so that means that someone would have to trade with the Cardinals here. The Cardinals have said they're open for business.
the Giants might trade with them.
Uh-huh.
JJ McCarthy and Jim, what's his name, the Chargers
Harbaugh.
coach,
Jim
Jim
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh. He loves JJ McCarthy. Would it be so crazy for him to just
Yes.
let Herbert go and try to make a stupid
Yes.
trade? For
Yes,
the boy
that
he
would
loves?
be dumb. No,
If-
and
if
the other
you
thing that I heard
you
too.
put it past the Jim Harbaugh. 'Cause
I
he
would.
is
I wouldn't.
insane.
I would because he's trying to
Who's the
win.
Titans quarterback?
He's trying to win. Like he came to the NFL because he wants to win a Super Bowl,
Yeah,
right?
That's
Like
a
he's a
good
winner.
one.
You know what?
That's the only thing that's left for him to do now. Is
Yeah,
win a
when he
Super
was
Bowl.
with the 49ers, he was constantly there knocking on the door. He got there. He was at the big dance. We know what happened with the lights going out on them and, the Ravens coming back, that whole conspiracy there. But, he was close, but no cigar, right?
Yeah.
I think he's going to try and build the team that he wants. And the other crazy thing that I heard
And it's gotta be Joel.
that I saw out there was that he would be willing to trade with the Vikings back so he could guarantee McCarthy stepping into like a quarterback friendly offense with the Vikings with the
wow,
that's
team
bullshit.
because he loves McCarthy so much.
He
I'm like,
does,
guys,
bro.
I'm like, get out of here with this.
Remember
like,
all the stories throughout the season? McCarthy at his house, babysitting his kids, watching his dogs. Like, that
it
relationship.
sounds like he
was
got a good
tight.
deal on a quarterback if he was
Well,
getting into babysitter
yeah,
and
Arizona,
watch
you
his
have to
dog.
go wide receiver here. You have
I think
Yeah.
they trade out, Ron. I think they trade back
to who?
and
Mini?
accumulate more.
Who
Mini?
gets the trade? Who they trade with?
Mini?
Ben, get on.
Minnesota?
You got to get on X right now, Ben, and get your sources.
Minnesota?
Let's see the trade.
Minnesota
has a
or
20
the Broncos or the Giants, bro.
They have the
Obviously, those
pick.
teams were trying to talk to the Patriots, right? To
Yeah,
trade
for
up.
Drake May.
The Patriots wanted a king's ransom. We'll see what the Cardinals want, but we did see them trade out last year, and it was of a much higher pick than this, right? Well, maybe one spot up. It was a number 3 pick instead of the 4.
say they trade, then they'll go to 11, where the Vikings were gonna pick.
Well,
and
but
then-
let's say they trade. Let's say, yeah, if
or they
it's
would
the
trade
Vikings-
11 and 23.
Yeah, but let's say it's the Giants and they only move back. They pick right after the Chargers,
Yeah.
which the Chargers,
Man.
everybody thinks that Harbaugh's going to go O-line and secure,
But
that blind side for
If
Herbert.
you're the Vikings, though, you literally you don't have to worry about anybody drafting the quarterback if these teams are really just
Who did
unless
The
someone is going to jump you like crazy. I mean, the Falcons just signed Kirk Cousins for
Yeah,
a
you're
couple
right.
of
My
years.
bad, my bad.
What did the
Tennessee
Giants
Titans just
give the
drafted
Cardinals,
Will
though?
Levis,
What did the Giants give the Cardinals to trade?
but the Giants,
Their pick
man, dude,
and a little something else.
I think the
mean,
Giants ought to
That's why
try and
it's
get
like-
better, man.
That's the key. There is what else are the Giants gonna give?
The Giants ought
they're
to try and
using
get
up
better.
that time. They're on the phones right now, boys.
they on
So
the
it's gonna go
phones,
down to
cuz.
the last
Let's see
second.
what they do.
Unless the Vikings are scared of the Broncos trying to jump them crazy, or maybe I don't know if the Jets won't go quarterback. They still got Aaron Rodgers. I think they're gonna wait it out. The rate, look, 11 through 13.
Look, they
Those
are
are the
showing
teams-
Schefter though. Schefter only comes on to report
With a
trades.
trade,
Yeah, he's-
11 through 14 are the teams that really could take the next quarterback, in my opinion. You got
somebody said sleeper pick Raiders trading
yeah,
up.
you got Vikings, Broncos, Raiders, Saints.
Pick
maybe
is
the
in.
maybe the
Pick is in.
pick is in. No
All right,
trade.
here we go.
There we go.
Marvin
So I
Harrison.
do have one
It should
pick.
be Harrison.
I do have one
Nobody,
pending
they,
pick.
they didn't like anything that anybody was offering them. They're like, fuck it, we'll just go get Harrison then.
I have one pending pick.
They're already
right
showing
now.
Harrison's
It's
room.
McCarthy over 5.5. So
This
I can't
is
have
good
him
news
go
then,
here.
Roland.
Yeah.
This is really good news.
Yeah,
Unless-
Chargers won't take him.
Unless Jim
The
Harbaugh
Giants
is
get
really
him.
that good of a guy.
Then
Dude, that's insane,
I
but-
want to ask you about
But
some
Ben, that's
NBA
you're
as
choosing being
well.
a good guy over trying to win in the NFL. You know you're gonna. Dude, that's crazy.
He's also
Dude.
getting assets, right, to build the team that he wants.
True. I mean,
because he's
who
going to
knows?
be there for a while.
He gives them a fan a
Damn,
discount,
they're
a
showing the league
hometown
neighbors
discount.
too.
There's just a lot of offensive linemen. Like I know
Elite
Joe
neighbors.
Alt is the best guy, but there's been
Latham
steam
from Alabama's
on
there too.
some other
Let's-
dudes. Yeah,
Latham.
Let's say the Cards get neighbors if you're Harbaugh and Harrison's there.
Well, especially because they just got rid of Keenan Allen. That
Hey,
guy
that
from
was-
TCU.
That's an
wasn't that
interesting
good.
look. That's an interesting
Wow.
look, Ron. I
And
like
they don't
that.
have Eckler anymore either, just for that little pass catching capability. Mike Williams
Mike
is
Williams
gone
is gone.
too, I believe.
Quentin
This is
Johnson,
Harris-
baby.
Otto
Quentin Johnson,
was-
time to shine.
If the Cards made the
You only
pick,
have
it's
like
Harrison.
Josh Palmer.
And Quentin Johnson.
Someone. I mean, Herbie's got to throw to somebody, right? Imagine he gets Harrison. Sheesh.
All right, the pick is in. Let's see.
Is in. Raise your hand when you get the pick, so we don't blow it for everybody.
I'm last, so I'll wait.
All right.
That'd be crazy. Oh, let's see. Yep.
Who? Just say it. Fuck Ben. Who cares?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think me and
Smart
Ben got
pick.
the same stream because we're on the same thing right now.
Yeah. Marvin
Both
Harrison
times they're
Jr. Man, let me
Bro,
tell you, that's
bro.
gonna be fun. Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Greg
I hate it.
Dortch.
I hate it.
Greg Dortch. It's a bunch of little ass dudes.
As an Ohio State fan, I didn't want him to go there. I hate it.
And
And they
Rondale
got-
Moore.
Hollywood Brown. Oh, the little dude.
Oh, the Hollywood, he's somewhere else. Didn't he sign
Yeah,
with
he's
somewhere
gone.
else?
He's gone.
Or-
He bounced.
I don't know who he's with.
Oh, the
now.
Chiefs. He's with the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah, I was gonna go get his.
Yeah, so the per Adam Schefter, you got Kyler Murray, James Conner, Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, and Trey McBride. Baller.
Trey McBride.
Trey McBride. Talk about fantasy, Benjamin.
Gotcha.
Talk
Hey,
about
Kyler
fantasy.
Murray might be back in fantasy football.
He
next
might.
Hey,
He's got some
hey,
weaponry now.
Shout out Marky. Hey, shout out Marky for our trade rolling. When I
Hey,
gave
yeah.
him Chelsea for McBride and
You were
somebody else.
forward looking. You were
McBride
forward
went
looking.
off, little keeper. Oh.
Keeper.
You're
I
forward looking with that
know.
trade. I like it, Ron. But hey, realistically speaking, though, this in fantasy terms, though, this Arizona offense is intriguing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you look
Yeah.
at James Conner now. You're like, hey, that might be legit running back 2 territory, right? I mean, he was already
He's gonna
kind of
score
going on,
touchdowns,
scoring
bro.
touchdowns with the crappy team. Now you got Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson's a threat on the outside, tall, true X receiver. Then you
Hey, but
got
who's their
Dortch and
coach now?
McBride.
The coach is
Um,
gone.
Shit.
Kingsbury's
Not the
gone,
Bengals
right?
OC.
Shit, I'm gonna blink out on the coach. I'll look it up while we wait on the next pick.
Oh,
So
no,
are we
he
thinking
ended up in
receiver next
Tennessee.
pick as well, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking neighbors here. I think you got to go
Neighbors
neighbors.
or Joe Alt? That should be.
No, they're
only-
going Joe Alt. This is Joe Alt.
Jerry with an interesting proposition. I know we always like to talk about this. Marvin Harrison, what round do you draft him in fantasy? He's saying rounds 2 or 3. He's automatically the receiver number 1 for Kyler Murray, who is
the first.
who is a
Okay.
perennial, who is a perennial top.
But that's the
6
thing. Do we
quarterback.
trust Kyler Murray? And I'm out on Kyler. I'm out. I'm out.
So you're not back in on fantasy wise though.
On a brand new offense.
Are you in on
Not-
the weapons? Are you in on
Randy
the weapons?
I'm in on the weapons, but the thing is, like, if he goes like Kyler Murray, bro, he's just not trustworthy. Like, he hasn't. We can't, bro.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a Devonta Smith in fantasy. That's what it's going to be.
What did Kyler Murray do when he came back last season
Rounds
after
2
getting
or
hurt?
3 is a little too high, bro.
Yeah,
that's a little
gotcha
too high.
reach. Gotcha reach.
That's too high for Marvin.
You want to
Harrison.
add Jerry to the league, Ron? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know who he is, but he sounds like a cool guy.
Pretty much saying he's got to be rookie of the year at that point.
Yeah, that's
To
true.
be
That's a good
worth this-
point.
Or
Yeah.
round 2.
Come on. Rounds. Hey, you know what? Put him in fantasy if he wants Marvin Harrison in the second round.
Yeah.
That's a Lucas.
That's a look.
All right, so Justin, you were
Was it
asking what
pick in?
Kyler Murray did
Yeah.
when he came back.
I looked
He
it up.
came
He
back-
beat the Eagles. That was his big game. I
Yeah.
remember.
There you go. Yeah, he beat the Eagles 35-31.
They lost to the Seahawks.
Eagles to win the NFC East.
Bro, he
Lock
lost
it
to
in
Gino.
now.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Ben, while we wait for the next pick, I want to ask you about some NBA playoffs. You were big on the Suns. How do you feel now?
Trash.
The Suns are
a
done.
comeback?
The Suns.
The
Yeah, let's do a
Suns are
little
done.
where we were right, where we were wrong, because we
Yeah.
all had some
Well,
predictions.
And they still got to go home and play a home game, right? So
Yeah,
I expect them
done,
to win at home, but they're just outmatched on the boards, bro. Like it's just one and done way too often. Way too often.
Devin Booker's
All right,
like
so
And Devin
overrated.
Booker is a fraud.
He's overrated like a Beach
I think-
Curry way.
we were all on the Suns, I think. So we were all kind of wrong on the Suns. They're down
I was on the
2-0.
Nuggets.
Oh, you were on the
What?
Wolves?
The
Oh,
Wolves.
you're not talking about for the
We're talking
to win the
matchups.
West.
Yeah, we're
He's
doing where
to
we-
win the West.
Oh no, I was just doing where we were right, where we were wrong on the series. As
Oh,
they've
yeah, on the
gone
series, I
You're
was
not
on the
wrong
series.
just yet, Roland.
Well, no, so far,
So
where,
far.
where we were right, where we were wrong
Yeah,
so
yeah.
far.
I took the Wolves
Uh,
all day.
You did? Okay, well, run the tape back and look.
Nah,
at
I
that.
don't know. I probably
Um,
didn't.
and post that on IG.
Once we
all
said
right.
run the tape, he's like, I can't remember.
All right. Well, the first one, I think
How's
we
it
were all
go, man?
clear
I love
cut
Ron.
on. We're not
Well,
going to spend
put
too
me
much
in the
time.
league. Easy money.
The
Roland's the
Thunder.
commissioner, so
Yeah, I got you. We were all on the Thunder there. That was easy. I think we had a split house though on the Clippers and the Mavs, and this has been a fun series so far. It's
I
1-1. The Clippers came out, smacked the Mavs in the mouth without Kawhi.
Without Kawhi,
The Mavs came back, answered. Luka had a game that really
I
wasn't
looked
close.
rusty.
Luka locked down on defense. We've been talking
we
about it
haven't
all
even
week.
talked about the.
We've been talking about it all week. Luka
don't need to,
Klampich
Wade.
as
Wait,
I think
Roland.
locked down
Roland.
Luka.
Roland, who though is he locking down? That's the important key.
He's locking down everybody. He's guarding 1 through 5 right now.
He's
That's
locking down
it's crazy.
Uno.
Yeah, he-
Uno ain't nothing.
No shot.
Uno's gonna go to 0. He's gonna be out the league.
Well, speaking of Uno, James Harden, he was lights out game 1. Ben, let me throw it to you. You saw what James Harden did game 1. You obviously had to have been expecting a little bit of a drop off because that's just what James Harden does. He comes out strong game 1, maybe a little iffy game 2. What are your thoughts as the series has progressed? Do you like the Clippers going on the road in Dallas tomorrow night?
Listen, I'm the biggest James Harden fan that everybody here probably knows, right? But you said though you were expecting a fall off, he was still the Clippers' leading scorer in game 2. James Harden should not be the
Well,
Clippers'
Kawhi
leading
didn't
scorer in
play.
game 1 and in game 2, according to the consensus of him dropping down and being washed or whatever it may be. Bro, the other guys got to step up. I mean, Zubac got in early foul trouble this game 2. You expected the Mavs to come punch back because it was nasty game 1. It was really
bad.
nasty.
It was bad.
You expected them to come back, get their shot in, but Zubac had 2 fouls like at the
I kinda
8-minute mark in the
disagree,
first
bro.
quarter. So he sat. Zubac killed the Mavs in game 1. We had talked about Gafford being good pickup for the Mavs. Zubac's too big for all of them. All of them. So Zubac has to stay out of foul trouble. But I know Kawhi got back into the lineup. It seems like when Kawhi gets back, they try and get him the ball at the elbow, wherever for him to shoot that.
Yeah, that kind of messed up the flow a little bit.
It does, bro. Like,
For sure. I agree with that to
But I
a
think-
certain degree. Ron, what
And
was
it
your
was a
thoughts here?
close game. Like, it's
I
not
kinda
like the
disagree.
Mavs blew them out.
I kind of disagree about you saying that Uno doesn't need to be or shouldn't be because he's washed. Kawhi's hurt. You should be outscoring Kawhi. Paul George, we know what Paul George is. He's just random ass dude that to me
he's
is
Robin. He'll never
overrated.
be Batman.
Yeah, exactly. So who else is? I mean, Russ is just gonna go out there, go crazy, get you boards and assists.
Bro, if
All
Kawhi's
that bullshit.
playing-
You can finish your take right now, Ron and Ben. But
Yeah, we got.
Chargers pick is in. You guys keep on
I don't
going.
want to hear.
So it's like
spoilers.
if you're James Harden, like you should be the leading scorer on that team, bro. If one guy's not even playing, one guy's
James Harden
Paul
should
George.
not be the leading scorer on
okay.
that.
So who should be the leading scorer on the Clippers then?
It should be Kawhi or Paul
When
George.
Kawhi's
Kawhi
hurt
was-
in this
No, I
situation, it's hard
understand,
to
but
Harden to be the
currently,
lead
right
scorer.
now,
Right now, it
currently-
should probably be Paul George or James Harden picking up the slack for sure. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah,
What
so
you're saying. And to
Kawhi-
Ben's
Kawhi-
point, he has done that thus far.
He's been the leading scorer.
Yeah, he's been the
both
leading
games.
scorer
Like,
both
he's
games.
done
should
it.
should be. Like,
So-
he has the ball in his hands every fucking possession.
Back to where we were right, where we
No.
were wrong, though.
He's
I
a
think
system, remember?
Ben was Clippers, I was Mavs. Justin, where were you on all of this?
I'll never be Clippers, so I was mad.
So you were Mavs, and Ron, you were.
Hey,
with,
Ron's waiting for the fucking jersey so him and Jerry can go to the bar and watch Game 3 together.
Oh, well.
And then you know
look at the
we're gonna
dog.
spend some time on this because we have a backs against the wall situation. We have a career, maybe looking at the dimming lights here situation with LeBron James.
I know you ain't gonna say
looking at his team
Yeah,
down 0-2,
just talk
going
about
back to La La Town or whatever they call it, La La Land, the Lakers. Going back to Staples Center, Crypto.com
Loser,
Arena,
man.
whatever they call it nowadays. They're down 0-2. Both competitive games, both games that they were up in, especially game 2. The Lakers had them. They had a complete
Our best
collapse,
punch right
however.
there.
Had a complete collapse. Justin, then Ron. Do the Lakers, do they have enough for another, like galvanizing effort, like where you're going to get their best effort in this almost an elimination game? Because if you go down 3-0, you can kiss it goodbye. It's over.
Yeah, we're gonna have our hold on, the picks in.
Jerry thinks they shot their load already. Joe Alt. Sorry, guys. I just said it. I forgot about the
Got
raise
you.
your hand rule.
All right.
Joe Alt, offensive tackle, like we said,
Great
and I
pick.
can cash that ticket on JJ McCarthy. Okay, what are y'all's thoughts on this Lakers series? Come on.
So we haven't blown our whole load yet. We're still got 2 more games that we're gonna go hard at home, and we'll be competitive those 2 games. We'll take one of them out of the 2. I said it was gonna be 4-1, 4-2 at best. It's looking more like 4-1. We did our best work. We punched them in the mouth, but we didn't get the job done. AD played one hell of a game. Has had a good season. He hasn't been absent this whole season. He's been playing the majority of the games, but it's just not enough. We don't have the pieces to match the Nuggets. The Nuggets are a better team. They're the championship team from last year. It's still the same nucleus, still the same core. I think they're going to win the West still. I'm still with that. But I do think we can get 1 game and possibly 2, maybe 2 at home. But I think it's 4-2, 4-1.
All right, I see that. And we were both kind of on the same page there as far as going into the series on a 4-2, 4-1. I think I said they might steal
I
one
think
of the first
Ryan
2.
said it really well here.
But Ron, what are your thoughts here, man?
Look,
State of the
bro,
Union. State of the Union. You and Justin
everybody's
giving the State of the Union
tripping,
here.
bro. Everybody's overreacting right now. Hey, the
Everybody's
Nuggets.
tripping.
All the Nuggets did was home hold serve, like they should have. Right? That's all they did. They won 2 games at home. You know,
Like they should have.
isn't like they should
Yeah,
have.
it's true.
Everyone
Yeah,
should
you're
win,
right.
right? And one of those games they shouldn't have won. Okay,
Last
so let's just be honest. If this is any other team besides the Lakers, you're like, oh man, they did so good. They took the Nuggets to the wire. They're gonna carry all the momentum into games 3 and 4 at home. But because it's the Lakers, everybody says, starts hating on them and says all these unnecessary facts and like all these stats and all this,
And it's true though. 0-10 versus the Nuggets is pretty crazy. They've lost
It
their
is
last
though.
10.
It is. So you can't go 0-11, right? So give me the Lakers tonight. First quarter, first half. I think they come out strong. Hopefully we get the dub. I just think that Ryan, to close on Ryan's point, there's just that fucking kryptonite that you have, and I think it's
It's like last year,
Joker,
Ryan.
Joker
Kept
shooting
teams close,
threes
we
like
still
off
lost.
the back foot like that and like going in, offensive
player
rebounds
in the
just
world.
Murray
falling
hitting on
to you.
Davis. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's just things that you can't explain. But hey, the series isn't over yet. Just
Bro,
like I
y'all
was
are
saying
so
about
full
the
of
other-
shit.
I was
bro.
gonna say I have to throw it to New Braunfels, Texas. The resident Lakers hater. What are your thoughts here,
Yeah.
Ben? On the
Actually, a
Lakers?
Lakers fan just pulled up to my crib. That's why my dogs were going crazy. They smelt
They smelled the
the
West
shit
Coast.
coming. Yeah, the Lakers shit coming in here, man.
Who is it? Who
I
is
got
it?
super excited, by the way. guys.
Camarada Jose Venegas pulled up. We're gonna watch the draft.
Hey, tell him what's
Oh,
up.
man.
Get him on cam. What's up?
Yeah,
He
put us
just
on
finished
cam,
playing
man.
an 18-hole round right now. but-
18 round.
There we go.
Austin's very own.
Hey, bro.
Hey, is he wearing any Lakers merch or no? If he's a Lakers
yet,
fan, he has
no.
something on.
No Lakers merch on.
All right, so
Oh,
Ben,
he's got a hat. Fuck, I lied. He's got a hat, and I actually got him this hat. I got him this hat. I
There
had
we
to
go.
get this shit out of my house.
All right, are we
quick.
watching up to pick 5? 'Cause I gotta
3
bounce.
months. It was a Christmas
Pick
gift.
his in.
Cut it in
Yeah, we
March.
got-
I'll go to
the
pick 10.
We got the Giants pick. I'll stay on a little bit longer, but Ben, real quick before the Giants pick gets given to us by the commissioner, what are your thoughts on this Lakers series? Is this going to be a sweep, a gentleman's sweep, or do they make it a little interesting?
Gentleman's sweep. Gentleman's sweep. They had their chances. They blew it. We knew that the coach they were out coached. We knew that Jokic was the best player. My whole shit is also AD saying the NBA hates me and I'll never get a defensive player of the year. Fam, this guy just had 20, 20, and 14 on your ass. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, that's a good call out. Like, his mind is on the wrong thing completely.
Yeah, like still on those individual awards, whatever. They're outmatched. I'll give the Lakers one game. I do think that they win tonight. So hopefully Kamala Jose's here happy, and shit.
Yeah, I'm already on the Lakers. I want to add that first quarter. I'm a little scared though.
I like them early.
The thing that scares me with the Lakers, and the thing that is, they're ultimately, I think their demise is they don't have a deep enough roster. When they've scored 17 points this stat has been going everywhere. They've scored 17 points as a bench unit these first two games. It's all been scored by one guy, Taurean Prince. I mean, that's enough to tell you right there. You're not getting any help from anybody else. You have to have more than that. I know you shorten your lineups in the playoffs, but to not be able to look to any but six people, I mean, that's crazy. You need a little bit more than that.
Neighbors to the Giants.
Neighbors. There we go.
Trash. He's gonna go there to die. His career's over.
No, well, he's only gonna have 1 year. Danny Dimes potentially. This is it for Daniel Jones. I think he's only gonna get one more shot at this. I don't think the head coach there, Dabble, is going to want to be tied to him for the rest of his career. I think Dabble's going on year 3. He won Coach of the Year 1, had a sour year 2, and then year 3. Ryan, let's see what goes on. But I doubt he's going to want to hitch his wagon to Daniel.
Going back to the Lakers, sit Rui, start Prince, sit Reeves, put in Dinwiddie, change it up. Fuck it. Do something. Because Rui and Reeves haven't done a damn thing. And they're out there.
Reeves is going off tonight.
Vincent is getting a lot of minutes for not doing anything.
He's going off tonight. They're back home. Bro. They're back home.
Trash. 35 plus minutes, and you're not even in double digits if you're Austin Reeves. You're the shooting guard. Make some shots.
Yep. They need more than cardio from those guys for sure. So that was the West.
Good pod, boys. I'm out. You guys enjoy the rest of the show. I will see y'all when I see y'all.
Yeah, I'll stay on to 10 with you, Justin and Ben. I don't know how.
10. Let's do to 10. Let's do to 10. 10's a good number.
But just looking at the rest of the bracket here, just we wrapped up the West there. We already gave our thoughts on the Timberwolves and Suns. The East, I think we were all on the Celtics. That one's tied 1-1. The Heat, it seems like they do it every year. They have one of these games where they just go absolutely nuclear. I think they set their franchise record for threes made. I think they had like 23 threes made, enough to beat the Celtics, take them down, steal a game in Boston. Celtics heavily favored going into this. I don't think anybody expected the Heat to win a game, much less be tied 1-1, meaning that they stole one of the first two. I was talking about winning a game in the series, much less stealing one of the first two.
Stealing one away.
But yet we're going to Miami tied 1-1. Justin, you're the Celtics hater here. I just talked to the Lakers guy. What are your thoughts on the Celtics if they find themselves 1-1? Do you think this is, like a sign of like that they're not really a championship team? Like they haven't done it. They only got to the Warriors and they lost, to the finals once. They lost to the Warriors. Is this just a sign that they don't have it? What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Or is it just one blip on the radar?
It's a sign on their coach, Mazzulla. I think this is, on him because he's getting out coached by Spoelstra again. And if Jimmy Butler was healthy, I think the Heat might win the series again like last year. I'm serious. They did it last year, right?
That's true.
So it's not crazy to say that with Jimmy Butler, they might do it again to them. They're lucky that he's out. Mazzulla's not the guy. The Rockets benefited the most from this whole situation by getting that coach. And I think that's what it is, honestly.
Interesting take. I've heard a lot of, disdain for the coach. Perkins has been one of the guys, the national media making commentary about Mazzulla. Ben, I know you like Big Perk.
I gotta read.
What are your thoughts on
my
the Celtics?
life? Me and Perkins agreeing on something that's crazy.
Perk is in beef too right now against Shaq and Kobe. He's got the Avengers teaming up against him, just like Drake does.
Not
bro.
Shaq and Kobe.
I mean, not Shaq and Charles Barkley.
Okay.
Yeah, Shaq and Chuck.
I
Yeah,
saw
Kobe would be against Big.
Yeah.
Perk
So what are
too.
your thoughts here, Ben? Is this like a worrisome sign, or is
It
this
is.
okay.
It is not necessarily for this series because the Miami Heat aren't going to be able to shoot like that. You know, the Celtics will probably steal one. It is going to be a drag out series now though because the Celtics stole one. I mean, the Heat stole one. They're going to win one at home as well. They'll probably go back to Boston tied 2-2. You know what I mean? So, but it just shows, bro, that they lack that killer instinct. And I know Tatum looked up to Kobe, you know, more than anybody else. But goddamn, bro, I mean, at that. I know he's been to the finals, but he's been supposed to be next, you know, for a while. And here more people are talking about Ant Edwards than they are talking about Tatum. You know, Tatum was supposed to have an MVP trophy just like Luka. You know, fans say that Luka should have had one already by now. So
he said he was the best in the NBA.
Right. I mean, this is it. They got to toughen up, bro. And this is just the Celtics playing harder, of course. Spoelstra, no doubt, he's top 3. Fuck top 5. I mean, we got to get down to the nitty gritty. Spoelstra's good, bro.
Is he not one right now currently? You don't think he's one as it stands right now currently?
He's got to be like 1 or 2.
I mean, Popovich obviously all time, you know, up there, but currently I don't think I would put Pop over Spoelstra as it stands right now.
Yeah, I think today's game I go Spo. Today's game I go Spo.
He does the most with the least, bro. Like, I mean, even if Jimmy was there, Jimmy is not the number 1 on a team, on a championship team, right? I think he's a clear number 2. They've got him there, they've lost. Jimmy's a clear number 2. But even with that, the Heat are just competitive. So shout out Spoelstra. They're going to give him hell. The Celtics are still going to win, but I do expect it to be like a 6-7 game series now that they stole an early one in Boston. Boston is just soft. They're soft, bro. And the coach, for sure, that coach is in over his head. I mean, they put like a guy who just got his driver's permit to go drive a Ferrari, and that's not the way it works, right? You start off in a little Honda Accord or something. You don't jump straight to the exotic shit. He got his reins on one of the best NBA teams. This is something kind of like Spoelstra when he inherited the Heat team that had all those stars, but we saw what he did with it. You know, of course, that was LeBron and Wade. These Celtics, they should cakewalk to the Eastern Conference Finals. They should cakewalk to the championship. If they don't do it, I do think they fire Mazzulla this offseason. If they don't get to the finals, they fire him.
Ben said a lot of smart things right there, but the only thing that I heard and took away from that was that his kids are not going to be getting a new car for their first car. So if you guys are listening out there in the future, you know, get ready.
My first car was a Dodge Intrepid.
So there we go. Hey, you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere. I like it, Ben. I like it.
My dad put a sports bra on the Dodge Intrepid, and he was like, "Oh, I'm cool. It looks bad, right?"
A sports bra?
Yeah, like they used to put them on Camaros.
Yeah.
And like all those cars, the little black leather shit that would go on the front of the car, make it look sporty. He put it on my fucking white.
I've never heard of this. I gotta look that up.
But I do agree with you guys in the sense that I think that this is a sign that they're missing like that overall like that toughness or that, you know, that edge to them, right? That something to get them over the top. Or they're just like an overall just leader. Because to your point with Tatum, I really don't see it. I think Tatum is a guy that really wants to lead by his production on the court. He doesn't really want to lead by, you know, being in the locker room or galvanizing guys. I'm just making assumptions. I don't know. But yeah, they're missing that. And, you know, you could even, I don't know, Ben, if you mentioned it, I'm sorry if I was looking at the draft or something, but Udoka too. You got to think that they have Udoka in this situation over,
they already have a
Mazzulla. They're going to be in a much better situation than they are right now in terms of just the coach.
Because he would give them the grit, bro.
Yeah, like, he would give them the grit for
coach
sure.
Has to bring it. You know what I mean?
He would give them the grit because they were down in the trenches last year.
He would go up and he would get thrown out of games because he was the one that was talking shit for them. I mean, that's the kind of coach he was.
Yep.
You know, he stood on business, for lack of a better term. So, yeah.
And also losing Marcus Smart. I think Marcus Smart was that guy for the Celtics before.
That's a gritty guy.
Yep, Marcus Smart, another guy, another glue guy, another guy that's gonna, kind of get out and stick up for the rest of the teammates. So if they're not, kind of willing to.
Identity guys. The pick is in, boys. Titans.
Raise
They
your
need
hand, raise
weapons.
your
They need
hand.
offensive weapons.
They need offensive line. They had a terrible offensive line. They need weapons, like Ben said. They go offensive line. J.C. Latham, offensive tackle out of Alabama. He was the guy that was
Yeah.
going up against Joe
Rowdy
Alt
Steve,
for
under
the
10 and a
first
half.
lineman. Oh, okay, so under 10.5 was the number on him.
Yep.
That cashes if you took that. Ben, you on any plays here as we get to the
I
end of
need
the
that
top 10?
Texas defensive tackle, to go before the 14th pick.
Okay, we're on the same boat there. I think we were on the same play.
And I need Bo Nix to not go in the first round.
Same. Yeah, I'm on Bo Nix over 32.5. Yeah, so let's spend some more time. We haven't seen another quarterback go off the board. I think we might see these guys in that 11 to 14 range, maybe wait it out. Let's see if one of them gets a little antsy with these picks that
Congrats on
come
that
up.
McCarthy play, Roland.
Thank you. It was a small play. It wasn't too crazy, but for me, like I said, I just didn't. For it to have happened, you're asking for a trade, or you're asking for something to trade into the top 5. I think we know what that costs. Let's see if one of these guys try and trade though to number 9, the Bears. So if you're the Bears, you're here at 9. Who knows kind of what receiver's going to be left over?
If you're the Bears, you still want to go get weapons.
If Odunze is there, let me throw the scenario out there. If they're sitting at 9, Odunze is there. The Vikings or somebody comes knocking on the door. They're like, hey, we want your pick because one of these other teams is going to jump us. They give them your pick, obviously, maybe another 2 or 3, whatever, and then 2, so you can, maybe get another couple weapons. What do you do? Do you take Odunze, or do you try and stock up your draft picks and your talent if you're the Bears there?
If it's the Vikings and they're picking at 11, you probably just drop back to 11, and maybe Odunze's there at 11 as well.
Because, you play that game, yeah, true.
Some of these teams are in the top 10. You're really going after your needs. So some of these teams their needs aren't wide receiver. I don't know the exact order here, to round up the top 10. But the Falcons, I don't expect to take a wide receiver.
The Falcons, their pick was in quick, so I'm going to try.
Hopefully, they're taking this DT Roland. They might be the defensive player here for them. We know their offense is stacked. They got Kirk Cousins.
You don't think they take a guard here?
Offensive lineman or defensive lineman, I think, is
that Washington kid. I mean, you saw him against Texas. You saw him in the national championship. One of the fastest offensive linemen we've ever seen.
Yeah,
quick to the pads. I mean,
the Falcons have a couple needs. I'm just on one of their pages here, just trying to look. That's saying they need some edge rushing, so defensive line, safety, but you're not drafting safety in the top 10. Corner or interior defensive line. Those are their top needs. So, and then offensive line is right after that, Justin, to your point. So, who knows where the Falcons go here? Honestly,
Kirk Cousins off an Achilles injury also makes you think. Also with Bijan being a second-year running back, you probably want to shore up your O-line, right? Maybe lean that way.
I see that, but man, I'm leaning defense here. Not only am I a little biased, but I look at what that Falcons defense did last year. I really think they were, one of those defenses held together by, paper and a string and a paper clip kind of a deal. Really not built out too well. So that's where I think they go. Let's see where the chips.
Gary saying Dallas Turner, the edge from Alabama, may be right here.
Dallas Turner, yep, he was slotted. I think his over/under was at 9.5. So this is big. If you were on Dallas Turner, I know he was the early favorite to be the first offensive player picked. I know there was crazy steam on Murphy from Texas that Ben just talked about, and Latu to be the first defensive players picked. They went all the way from like plus 1,500 down to, I think before the draft they were like plus 150.
Yeah, it got really close.
Dallas Turner hit a 4.4640 as well. So, I mean, that's what really steamed him up as an edge as well.
Man, I'm interested
to see. The Falcons need some interior nastiness, bro.
So you guys don't think that by any chance the Chicago Bears next pick take a receiver just
Yeah,
to get crazy
do.
talent around.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at that decision for them
And who do
because
you take,
I
Rome
think
Odunze or do you take Brian Thomas Jr.?
I take Odunze
Odunze.
here. I take Odunze here. My thing with that first question, Justin, is I think they've done a good enough job of building out their roster already. They've been making some pretty good moves throughout the season, even, building out the defense. Where I'm comfortable with them, adding one of these, shiny new toys, as the draft pundits like to call it, with these receivers. So yeah, I'm down with that if you're the Bears. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Odunze, if he's as good as advertised.
Yeah, because you mentioned like Tyler Scott, or I thought it was like a character from The Office, and
Michael
no,
Scott.
yeah, like they need a third guy.
All right, let's raise
All
your
right,
hands.
the pick is in.
I wanna be
All right, I'll
surprised.
raise my hand here. All right, I'll raise my hand.
Yeah, let's raise our hands here, but let's get our guy rolling. Let's get our guy right.
Yeah, this
here,
is big.
bro. Let's
This is
shock
big.
The world.
Let's-
What do
I
y'all
don't
think
think
about
there has been
Goodell
a
with
shock-
the button
Yeah.
down, not all the way to the top?
I don't think there's
He's
been
feeling
a shocking
himself on
pick
draft
yet.
night.
Yeah, he's had a couple whiskeys, maybe.
Hold on.
Whoa!
I didn't see
I,
that
buddy.
coming.
I did tell you that, bro.
I didn't see that
You said
coming.
they just signed Kirk Cousins.
That is
Good call,
interesting as
man. Good
hell,
call.
bro. I give
You
it to
didn't
Atlanta.
quite-
They always hit splashes, like
You didn't quite get to 4 in a row, but you're on the over on the quarterbacks here. That's a good call. Wow, Penix. And look,
Top 10, bro.
and let's talk. We didn't do our draft profiles or whatever, Justin, but my top 5, just real quick. I had, Williams, I had Daniels, I had May. Well, actually, no, I had Williams, Daniels, then I had Penix, and then May, and then
Penix,
McCarthy
bro.
or Penix. Penix, but he was my number 3 guy. I'm surprised he went this high because his draft profile as a prospect is there's a lot of worrisome things there, right? You look at his injury history. You look at what happened at
blown out.
you look at what happened at Indiana with all those injuries.
His
He really found his age. He's one of the other older quarterbacks. It'll be one of the oldest guys that are drafted. Jerry, you've been on him the last couple times that we've been talking about this. Good call out. But as far as a quarterback, like a guy that you're gonna ask to step in and quarterback your offense and make the right throws, make the right reads, Penix to me, or Penix, is the number 3 guy in this draft class for sure.
I liked him at 4 myself, Roland. I just can't get over both knees being blown out. You're speed running what's his name, RG3 career already. Except
For sure.
when RG3 happened in NFL, his happened in college. The kid's an amazing talent, but he had one hell of a roster around him as far as receiver talent goes at Washington, and he didn't do shit in Indiana. So I cannot be putting him at higher than 4 for me because of those injuries.
So your draft grade, real quick, before I throw it to Ben, your draft grade here for the Falcons.
I'm confused. I'm shocked. I mean, they just paid a big offseason to Kirk Cousins. I'm gonna go C+.
C for
Pretty
confused.
high
I
guy.
like it. I like it.
I don't think anybody's going to give them a good draft grade. I was really big on Penix during the season. I said, oh, he might be the number 1 guy. Then you all told me how old he was, and I was like, oh, shit.
And
And then you all told me both of his knees were blown out. But, bro, I did say Falcons surprised us because I wanted, the defensive lineman, but that was a bigger surprise. I mean, they're going to be getting horrible draft grades for just paying all this money to Kirk Cousins off an ACL that people were already saying, holy shit, that's a lot of money off an ACL. Now you go get a top 10 pick to pay and just sit behind him as well. Very weird. New coach also over there. New GM. Bad start. I mean, at least they were drafting guys that were going to be on the field before. They just weren't using them properly. Now they're wasting a pick, top 10 pick on a guy who's going to sit. I love Penix. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I had Daniels number 1, Caleb Williams 2, and Penix 3, and then Drake May. That's how I had it. But, man, this is I think you're going to see a lot of C's and even D's, and it's not even on the strength of Penix. It's just on the strength of team needs and, like, what are you thinking?
Like you have other needs. Like I get, like if you had a chance to drop Penix, if you're the Falcons, maybe like in the 2nd round, you're thinking like, damn, the Falcons, I like what they're doing here. You can bench Penix for a year or two, and you can sit him behind Kirk and he'll learn, and then he'll step into an explosive offense with some good weapons there, right? But you drafted him number 8. So when you draft guys 8, most of the time you expect them to have a close to immediate impact, right? Or a chance to have an immediate impact on your roster. He's not going to make their roster better tomorrow. For me, just off of what they did,
Is
where
maybe
they
Kirk
did it.
Cousins not ready, bro?
Yeah, maybe his
Maybe.
ACL's not all the way.
Maybe we don't know
Or-
something.
or his
Maybe there's
Achilles.
something as Achilles. Yeah, maybe there's something we don't know. But just assuming Kirk is ready to go, he's good for the next 2 years. I give this a D. You don't do this
you
with
don't
the
pay him all that money.
Yeah,
if
I
he's
mean,
not
you're
ready.
doing this off of 2 good years at Washington because his last year at Indiana, he only threw for 4 touchdowns.
He's a good quarterback, Justin. I think that I thought we all agree he's
I
a
don't
pretty
have
good quarterback.
Bears pick is in pretty quick.
I got it.
Oh wow!
All right, so they went
Kinda
quick.
what we
Romo
said, right?
Dunze.
Yeah, that
Romo
makes sense for
Dunze.
them.
Yeah. So hey,
All right,
the
here's our
Bears
last
got
pick
some
to
good
get the boys,
weaponry.
the 10th pick coming in. But yeah, I mean, Ben, at Indiana, he had 4 touchdowns his last season before transferring. He did see 2 good seasons
Did
at
he get hurt
Washington.
that year?
Was it COVID?
No, the COVID year, he had 14 touchdowns. I mean, he didn't ball until his Washington seasons.
Because even in the national title, I mean, we saw him. Didn't they kind of make it interesting or did Michigan beat the shit out of them, or did they make it interesting after the second half? I know the first half was
He had his touchdowns. He had some darts, but I mean, not like against Texas where he was really
right.
balling out.
Right. But I mean, then you see his wide receiver go right after, so it's kind of like they did have a really good thing going over there, bro.
Yeah, at Washington they did. The 2 years at Washington were great.
At his age,
36 touchdowns last year at Washington, 31 the year before.
At his age, though, he's not the guy that like needs to sit.
So,
to
there was
mature.
He doesn't sit. You can't sit this guy. You're right, Ben.
There was a trade. Vikings move up 1 spot to 10.
McCarthy.
Yep. They probably got a little antsy here. Did not want to risk somebody else jumping them.
Wow.
So they're going to get their quarterback. Let's see who it is. Probably McCarthy.
It is McCarthy.
It's not going to be Knicks.
No.
Good situation for McCarthy, though. I guess I'm not high on him personally. Again, I can only go off of what I've seen, right? So there hasn't been a lot of opportunity for him to throw. From what I've seen, it just doesn't show a first-round quarterback to me. Like from what I've seen versus some of these other guys that have gotten drafted, even Penix with his choppy injury history. But he goes into a quarterback-friendly offense with Kevin O'Connell. So I will say that.
He is a game plan guy, though. I do think that he's a guy that can like carry out the game plan and not veer off. And I don't think that he's the type of guy that's going to lose you the game either. But I do think that he's more of a game manager than a guy that's going to put you over the top. Maybe he'll not turn the ball over as much, right? But he's also not going to be having 1-2 play drives for touchdowns. I think they're going to be an offense that, they're going to keep the reins on him for the most part.
For sure.
That offense is going to be spicy with all the talent they have, though. The receiver, the tight end.
They do have receivers that can take a slant
back.
80. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They just need an accurate, smart guy back there that doesn't turn it over. He does kind of fit that bill. Like I said, he can stick to a game plan. Yeah.
Vikings pick is in. That was quick.
This could be it, boys. This is it for us tonight. Everyone who's been in the chat this whole time, we do appreciate y'all. The comments that came through tonight, awesome. We love it, man.
I will say, man, these draft caps this year, I think these are cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like these. I like these draft
I don't
caps.
know what to describe them as. The black with the mat or whatever. Then the color behind it's sick. They
It's
really
clean, and then they got the patch on the side.
And the state on the side.
Yeah.
It's dope.
I think I might be copping myself one, depending on what the Cowboys do with their draft pick. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yes. What do y'all want? What do y'all want?
Man, honestly, just want to play it safe. We
I
lost.
think it's gonna be O-line.
We lost 2 offensive linemen. I just want to see us draft an O-lineman and call it a night, and then we can think about adding some weaponry in the second round.
Yeah, I think it's got to be O-line or defense, and then hopefully wide receivers around 3 or 4.
Is there any running back that can
right now?
Jonathan Brooks,
Speedy by himself, pretty much. We just let go of what's his name, Gallup.
No, but I'm saying, is there any running back in the draft that you all would be okay with, or just?
I mean, the only one that we're linked to, Justin, right, is Jonathan Brooks, and he's coming off a torn ACL.
I
No
mean, he had
Corum
one
love?
hell of a season in Texas this year, though. But
What's that?
Corum? No Corum love?
No Corum. I think the other one,
Trey Benson from
Benson.
Florida State.
And he's a horse. I like Benson.
You know who's out there
he's a
who's
unit.
pretty good that is not like on the big boards, but he's tiny. It'd be another tiny guy, Ray Davis from Kentucky.
He's a good runner, but I don't know. I mean, he's maybe a guy that
we already have
you
a 5'5" guy, right? So why another one?
But if the Cowboys go into let me ask the question this way: do you think the Cowboys go into Week 1 with the running back room that we have currently? Deuce Vaughn, Royce Freeman,
No chance.
Dowdle.
I think the best thing you get is Zeke.
What about Will Shipley, Roland? I mean, he was a bum at Clemson for his second year, but his first year,
I don't want
Get
Shipley,
out
bro.
of here,
Get out. I don't want Will Shipley.
No, you don't want that.
he
guy.
was physical his first 2 years, and then Dowdle ran him to the ground, bro.
You don't want that
Dude,
guy.
he was a
What about a
workhorse
scheme
for
from
Dowdle,
Notre
bro.
Dame?
I haven't seen enough of him to make a.
He did pretty good
an
against my
information.
Ohio State team.
I got to look at him, but what I'll say is I don't want them to go into the season with those three guys, but
Can't do it.
I wouldn't put it past them, man. I mean, it's the Cowboys at this point.
If they want to be taken serious, they can't go into the season with those three.
We're all in though, dude. We're all in, man.
Hey, I did.
Hey, your
take an
definition of
exact
all in is
pick.
different
I did
than
take
Gary's definition of
this
all
was
in.
one that I forgot to mention, Roland, but I did take an exact pick of this fool to the Vikings. The
Oh,
Michigan
I did
quarterback.
see that. Yeah, I did see that.
It
on
was
your
only
card,
like
yeah.
plus 150.
Who'd you
but,
take?
I mean,
McCarthy
Shane
to be drafted by the
McCarthy.
Steve Patterson. McCarthy to the Vikings.
24th
Exact
best team in the
pick.
league, baby.
Because they connected like the OC or the head coach, whatever it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, Kevin O'Connell liked him.
Yeah. So they better pick him here, bro. Let's sign off on a winner.
Yeah, that'd be a nice little win for you there, Ben.
And then we got 3 picks to get this defensive lineman, bro.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
gonna
boys.
watch it.
And what time will we be back? You thinking Tuesday or Thursday for some more NBA playoff recaps?
Either Tuesday or Thursday. I'm down either day, bro.
We do need to be back.
So everyone that's here, if y'all want to talk some NBA, Tuesday or Thursday, we'll be back.
Yeah, because these
You
series
should have both home games for the lower seeds
Yeah.
by then.
Yeah.
Series should really have shape by then. You should know exact kind of what's going to happen more or less, unless somebody chokes it away. So
Real quick, Ben, what about the 76ers? We saw them lose, two.
they're winning tonight. I got them winning
And
and covering.
that was all. Embiid took that personal. You could tell he was really bothered by that second loss. That shouldn't have been a loss for them.
What's the current score right now? I don't know what it is, but yeah, they blew that game bad. The refs also were really on the Knicks side, but tonight I think Scott Foster's reffing that game, and I expect the Sixers to win by a decent amount.
Pulling up the game for you right now. We're sitting at 68 Philly, 66 New York, third quarter.
Damn, bro.
What's the score?
pretty rough.
Orlando has blown out Cleveland 121-83 final.
What was that first score, Justin?
68-66, 76ers up in the third quarter with 6:58 to go. 71-66 now.
Nice. I'm gonna throw that game on too with the draft.
No, but I do have the 76ers. The spread was 4.5, 5.5. I did have them covering it, so I did have the Sixers.
Yeah, Jerry, I was gonna say, I do want to come back on Tuesday because the series are going to be a lot more developed by the next time that we talk here with the game of
Lakers
two.
might be swept by then.
Exactly. So we might have some second round matchups to talk about.
Getting one.
We might have, the Mavs looking forward to the second round or the other way around. Who knows what's going to happen?
Why do the Mavericks get 3 days rest? They don't got to play till Friday, and the Lakers still got to play the next day. Like that didn't make sense.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. I agree with you there. And then I think there's somebody playing a back-to-back, if I'm not mistaken.
Damn.
No.
Yeah, dude, I saw that.
Playoffs are back-to-back?
Hey, tomorrow I do like the Pacers, though. First game at home. That arena is going to be crazy.
What's the series there? Is 1-1?
It's 1-1. They did
1-1.
steal one.
Bucks?
But also, Roland, so with this Lakers game, bro, I mean, let's talk it out. I mean, I don't know if you're in already, but
I already took them
Lakers
for the
first half.
I already took them for the game. I was thinking about them jumping out on the Nuggets.
They've been up both first quarters and both first halves.
Exactly, and I'd like them to do that.
I was thinking about getting on the first half. I don't trust them full game. The Nuggets. I know Ron has alluded to the Nuggets second half just kill them. every time.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. I'm a little scared of that.
And if you look at it as well, like the first half line, it's juiced more. Or like if you take the money line first half, there's way more juice on it than if you take Lakers for the full game. And it's usually the other way around as well.
All right, don't blow it for me. I want to hear this pick.
Damn, they got a whole family up there.
Oh,
Where's Sketch at?
He's gonna do whose pick? The Houston pick, right?
Texans, but we only have a second
Got
round.
it.
How does everybody feel about Sketch? I'm a big fan of Sketch.
I think it's funny.
He's always repping the Texans, so I'm not hating.
Yeah, I think it's funny.
Oh, there's a pick, boys.
Yep. JJ McCarthy, congrats, Ben. You cashed out.
Yeah.
All right,
JJ
let's see
McCarthy's
it.
a winner. I mean,
He's a winner.
in high school,
He's a highly touted prospect.
I don't think that I don't think Justin Jefferson is satisfied.
But hey, he goes to a quarterback-friendly offense, quarterback-friendly offensive coordinator. He's gonna have every opportunity to succeed. So I think we'll know real quick if he can play quarterback or not. We're gonna know really quick if
He's
he
the
can
day
connect
one
with.
starter. He's gonna be the day one starter.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be. We're gonna find out real quick if he can connect with Jefferson or not.
The Jets. This is where
he's
we
not a
expect the tight
gunslinger
end
by
to
any
go.
means. JJ McCarthy is going to thrive best where his throwing is limited, where you're getting 25 throws or less. That's the kind of offense he can run. But if you're having to win a game, you're behind. I don't think. Well, you know what? He did it against Alabama. So,
All right, boys. I'm out.
all right. Thank you, everybody who was with us
right
tonight.
here, though, I'll sign off by I want to be back to talk NBA on Tuesday. I do think that the Jets take the tight end. It's either going to be O-line or the tight end from Georgia. I do like him to go right here.
All right.
There we go. All right. See you,
Peace,
fellas.
everybody. Thank you for tuning in.